नमस्कार। इस पेपर 6 में जो एमएससी फिजिक्स सेमेस्टर 2 का है उसमें आप सभी विद्यार्थियों का स्वागत है। हम पिछले कुछ दिनों से यूनिट सेकंड का अध्ययन कर रहे हैं। वी आर स्टडिंग द पार्ट ऑफ यूनिट 2 of this paper 6 that is atomic and molecular physics. Yesterday we studied exchange degeneracy and before that we have a very brief idea about the Pauli exclusion principle. This exclusion principle is of very extreme importance in physics as well as in chemistry, and it has got a very wide applications in spectroscopy. Pauli, a scientist from Austrian, and basically he was a mathematician and physicist also. He gave his formula in 1925, the Pauli exclusion principle, and he explained certain forbidden lines in the spectrum of mercury. This principle has been successfully applied to the construction of periodic table, and Dirac has contributed in its mathematical formulation. All of you are familiar with the scientist Dirac, who gave a concept of antiparticle. This principle states that a completely defined quantum state cannot be occupied by more than one electron. That is to say that two electrons cannot be identical in regard to all their quantum numbers, which define a complete stable state. Dear students, when you solve hydrogen atom problem in quantum mechanics, all these four quantum numbers n, l, ml, ms appear automatically. So for the two electrons cannot be identified in regards to their quantum numbers, which define a complete stable state. If somehow or the other there are more than one such electron, then except one other are disallowed to enter into the configuration of the atom. Since this principle exclude the entry of electrons with the same state into the configuration, and this is the reason, this is the main cause why it is known as exclusion principle. This is all about we have studied the periodic table arrangements. Now let us try to develop the mathematical applications, how it is applicable in spectroscopy. In the concept of exchange degeneracy, for the wave function psi12, we write the Schrodinger equation as this equation: psi12 is equals to a psi12 plus b psi21. And this is the solution of a Schrodinger equation. Now since the particles are exactly identical, therefore all the physical measurable quantities must be independent of exchange of any pair of two particles. Therefore we must have psi12 magnitude square is equals to psi21 magnitude square, and this condition demands that A is equals to plus minus B. A is equals to plus or minus B. So we can write psi12 is equals to A psi12 plus minus psi21. This equation can also be achieved by slightly different line as follow. The Hamiltonian function for the system of the two particle is the sum of Hamiltonian function for the individual one. This happens when we assume that identical particles do not interact, and if they do, then interaction is very feeble. In this situation, when the Hamiltonian function for two particles is separable, the energy eigenfunction for the entire system is expressed as a product of eigenfunction for the individual particle, and that is why I have written here psi12 is equals to psi1 and psi2. So complete wave function is expressed as the product of eigenfunction for the individual particles. Further, since the two particles are exactly identical, they are acted upon by the same force, and hence B1 and B2 have same analytical form, indicating thereby that the wave function belong to the same family. Let us assume that psi and I denote the normalized eigenfunction for the ith particle, where small n indicate the complete set of quantum numbers needed to describe a state. Therefore, we write the above equation as psi12 is equals to psi n1 of 1, psi n2 of 2, that is, we have written this expression for the two different particles. Now, the above wave function describes the state in which the particle 1 is the state described by the set of quantum number n1, and second is in state described by small n2. But since the particles are identical, therefore particle 1 may be in the state n2 and second may be in state of n1, and also that psi12 is equals to plus minus psi21. So to avoid this confusion, let us write psi12 is equals to a psi n1 of 1, psi n2 of 2 plus minus psi n12 psi n2 of 1, or psi prime 12 is equals to a psi 12 plus minus psi 21. This expression is the same expression like equation number 16, and hence the wave function psi prime psi 12 describe the state in which one particle is in state n1 and the other particle is in state of n2. No matter which particle is in which state, the probability of occupying any state by any particle is equally liking. For the Fermi particle, the above equations which we just got psi prime 12 can be written as psi 12 is equals to a psi n1 of 1, psi n2 of 2 minus psi n1 2 minus psi n2 of 1, and its complex conjugate, that is psi star 12, is equals to a psi star n1 1 psi n2 star 2 minus psi n1 star 2 psi n2 star 1. This condition, which is the normalized condition, all of you are well familiar about the concept of normalization of the wave function, and you also know why do you require this normalized condition. So by using this normalized condition, let us write integral psi 12 complex conjugate d tau is equals to 1, and if we solve this integral, then we have the coefficient of normalization is equals to 1 by root 2. So the complete eigenfunction become psi 12 is equals to 1 by root 2 psi n1 psi n2 of 2 minus psi n1 2 psi n2 1, and this is what I have written here. Now, if n1 is equals to n2, that means two particles have the same quantum state, the resultant state disappear, and we can conclude that probability of two anti-symmetrical identical particles in the same state is 0, or two non-interacting fermions cannot both be in same quantum state, and this is what the Pauli exclusion principle. Further, with the type of system with which we are dealing, Hamiltonian operator is invariant not only with respect to exchange of all over the coordinate spin and space of the two particles, but also with respect to the separable exchange of their space coordinate along and their spin coordinate along. Because of this complete independence of Hamiltonian operator and over spin as well as space coordinate, the wave function for a single particle is written as the product of space and spin wave function, that is psi n1 is equals to u n1 r b plus and psi n1 prime u n1 r b minus, where psi n1 and psi n1 prime represents the two possible spin space, represents the two possible spin states with spin half h cross and minus half h cross for an electron, that is fermion, defined by the quantum number n, l, m, l and r, represents all position coordinates, and respectively b plus and b minus are the spin function for the single electron with spin half h cross and minus half h cross respectively. The introduction of spin function modified the above equation, that is the equation which we have written psi 1 2 prime a psi 1 psi n2 of 2 plus minus psi n1 psi n2. This is equation. So this equation is modified now, and this equation become as psi 1 2 by using this complete eigenfunction 1 by root 2 u n1 u n2 b plus 1 b plus 2 plus minus u n1 r2 u n2 r1 b plus 2 b plus 1, and by using the several simplification, the above eigenfunction can also be written as linear combination of last two expression of this equation. So finally the wave function psi 2 is obtained like this. Because of the definition of symmetric and anti-symmetric wave function, the sign of the two brackets are correlated. For symmetric particle, sign in two brackets are the same, while for the anti-symmetric particle, sign are opposite. Out of above 8 wave function, first three with positive sign and last with negative sign are symmetric, while the remaining 4 are anti-symmetric wave function. The anti-symmetric wave function can be written as psi prime 1 2 is equals to we have written like this. Now consider if n1 is equals to n2, that is the two electrons corresponding to the same quantum state, then out of the 8 possible wave function, only the function with positive sign in the first bracket survive. Of these 4, first 3 are symmetric and 1 is anti-symmetric. As this experimentally observed, when two electrons occupy lowest energy value, only singlet state occurs, a special case of n1 is equals to n2. The state occur singlet state. Hence, singlet state is associated with the survived anti-symmetric state. This is a special case of Pauli principle, which is one from state that for many electron system only anti-symmetric state occurs. Hence, the conclusion is that first 3 states described by the equation corresponding to triplet state of spectra, and the last one special symmetric function corresponding to singlet state of spectra. There are spectra, triplet and singlet. triplet state of spectra when n1 is not equals to n2. The triplet state containing an antisymmetric orbital factor have identical probability density and all property that do not depend on the spin are identical for these three states. The triplet states are distinguished from each other by the value of z component of spin angular momentum. When the interelectronic repulsion is neglected, all four states have same energy, but the consideration of interelectronic repulsion remove the fourfold degeneracy so that the triplet level is more stable than the corresponding singlet level. In the triplet state, the electron spin are always aligned with parallel, while angular momentum in the triplet state has the magnitude is √2 h cross and has three allowed orientation in space. The net spin angular momentum in the singlet state is 0. The vector diagram is represented below this diagram. So this is all about we consider the two particle system. Tomorrow we shall consider Pauli exclusion principle for n particle system. Thank you.